Hello again, everyone. Adam Abraham here as I continue to fluster with how to start talking. Well, something pushes me out, in spite of myself, to come out and say something, comment, and I know what it is. I've been around the sun a few times, more than average. I'm on the upper side of what you call life expectancy in our society in this day and time. And you know, some people are simply expecting to, okay, their days are numbered, their time is numbered, is limited when they get to a certain point. And at this point in time, only 68 times around the sun, first of all. And it's fascinating, though, to be here at this point and actually understand that in the context of my physiology, in the context of how my body works, how my body can work, how my constitution actually is organized. Now, my constitution is not my body. It's not part of my body. Who I am is actually not this physical form. My constitution is who I am, which has no time stamp on it, no programmed obsolescence. And I'm understanding that. In fact, for that matter, I wrote a book over 20 years ago. I published a book called I Am My Body Not, which in fact, if I would be more helpful, I would make it more known on how you could buy one, because I still have about 800 copies of it, of the first edition of that book. It's over 20 years old now, or 20 years timeless is what it actually is. And it presents that idea that you are not your form. We are not our form. We should not be defining ourselves by it. We should not be allowing others to limit us by what we have come to think about who and what we are. We are limited by our own thoughts, our own thinking, our own truths, whatever we think truth is. And many of the truths that we think are just that are not. In fact, I just found and re-uploaded a little video that I produced in 2007 called Truth. And in fact, you can find it on its own, but I'm going to play it right here. And it's not that long, maybe 5 minutes, but it's something different, okay? It gives you a break from just listening to me, even though you'll be listening to me. So here it is.
We live in an ocean of ideas, a universe of thought, each with its own associated energy and meaning. All thoughts exist in interdimensional potential and manifest into human experience through the same process of inspiration and awareness, resonance and belief, desire and embracing, allowing, amplifying and embodying, and then expression. We are midwives to the thoughts that swirl around us and the experiences that they create. We are their Alpha and Omega in this world, for we see them in our mind and feel them with our heart and emotions, and then experience them if and as they come into being. And while the creative components and process is universal for all human beings, no two results are the same. As such, one of the most important types of thoughts in our world are those that are given the term truth, or simply called true. Truth is a prime thought state, a fundamental concept, a framework that we use to form, experience, and agree on what is likely or unlikely to occur, have occurred, or will occur within our reality. Truth encompasses our concepts of possibility and impossibility. It underscores agreement and disagreement, responsibility and the absolution therefrom. Within our truths is understood to exist an integrity or oneness between that which is conceived or spoken and actuality. This integrity implies that others who experience said truth will come away with the same experience. In fact, truth doesn't work that way in our reality. What is true for one person may not be true for another. It depends on the individual. The term falsehood is given to those ideas and concepts, whether expressed or implied, where said integrity with possibility or actuality is believed to be missing or in doubt. While there can be wide variances with respect to what we believe is true or untrue, truth is a necessary concept in our world where total awareness is veiled by design and subject to progressive unfolding. Nonetheless, marking an idea as true suggests that questioning can cease, because this is the way it is. In truth, no truth is above taking a fresh look. This is because of another truth to consider, that greater truths are always out there, or perhaps within, that await our consideration, acceptance, embracing, embodiment, knowing, and expression. Through the practice of applied kinesiology, we can use our inherent mind-body-spirit connection to ascertain or confirm what is true, using a simple muscle test, with one caveat. In order to ascertain integrity, one must be in integrity. In other words, our desire and intent to know the answer must itself be genuine, real, and true.
Truth is really an important thing in our consciousness, in our ideas about reality. And trust, which is interesting, you look at the symbology of the word trust and the word truth. TRU starts both words, in fact. Then you have trust, the ST, and you have the TH from the truth part. So the T is in there twice anyway. But essentially, when you trust someone, something, you're trusting them on the basis and foundation of what you or they are saying is being true. And what's interesting is the profound lack of truth in so much of what is going on today in our society, when in fact you would think that as we have learned more and we've gained more and we think of ourselves as being advanced and civilized, more people, first of all, would know the difference, would be able to parse out, to discern the information that's being presented to them and pull out what's not truthful, which is not factual, which is not supported by actuality. We got a whole bunch of that happening with this pandemic campaign, and a whole bunch of behaviors are being presented for people to begin to take in. Lately they're talking about, oh, we need about 3 months. Oh, if you just hang with us for about 3 months, do this over a 3-month period. This is about inculcating, or I might just say incultating, these behaviors in to the point where people are now just doing it without thinking, doing it without objection, even to the point where they start to take it in as normal and they're natural. One thing I've also realized recently, that normal today is not natural. Having and wanting a new normal is not where we want to be anyway, because in our society, normal is unnatural. We have a society that is now becoming and has become essentially disease conscious. These are the things I really wanted to talk about. These are things that hit me during the course of the day, and then I want to get out. I want to talk about it then, but then I'm doing something else. We have adapted. This is the pot that society is in, and either they are not aware enough, or they're not, I'm going to say, courageous enough to say, excuse me, that don't make any sense. I'm not doing that. Excuse me, wearing this thing on my mouth obstructs the flow of oxygen in, carbon dioxide out. You don't have to say these words, but if you're thinking it, if it's going through your mind, you realize doing so is injurious to your health. They're talking about protecting someone else when you're not protecting yourself. Protecting yourself basically means breathing deeply, taking oxygen in. It means protecting the amount of oxygen that's available to you to protect what? Your health. To do what? Increase or certainly maintain your health throughout your life. The people that we are being encouraged and coerced into trying to protect are folks who have already compromised their the health and integrity of their insides. We have become deaf, dumb, and blind to what's important, what is actually happening inside our body. We're not aware of it enough. And we are trusting, there's the word trust and truth, we're trusting the people who are guiding and suggesting these things, these activities, to be truthful, to be saying these things because the science that they are touting, if they are touting any, would be truthful. But it would also mean that there's no other science that would controvert it, that would say, no, on the other hand, it's not working. That won't work. That is actually dumb. I don't hear enough of that. I don't hear enough people. I see people, here you got presidential candidates who are wanting the office, who simply want to get the present occupant out of office. They have a vendetta against that individual, as opposed to wanting to serve the people of the United States. The main leading image, message, objective of the candidate of the day now is mandating that everyone wear these masks to get over this thing, if he were in office right now.
Doesn't have anything to do with Democrats, Republicans, or independents. It has to do with a simple proposition. Every single American should be wearing a mask when they're outside for the next 3 months at a minimum. Every governor should mandate mandatory mask wearing. The estimates by the experts are it will save over 40,000 lives in the next 3 months. 40,000 lives. The people act responsibly.
That should be your sign right then and there. No. Not only that, it's not about the mask alone. It's the other practices that are sitting in the wings waiting for you to continue to simply let this crap happen, not take exception to it, not protect not only your health, but your freedom to make your own choice. The people who are so compromised one way or another for whatever reason were free to do that. The people who choose to care for and protect their health are not under any obligation to now take their own health down to make someone else unhealthier. Because the people who are already complying are simply taking themselves down even greater. And you've got a medical doctor, you've got an entire organization essentially guiding the world, not an organization, but several, all highly paid, all highly bought off, to be guiding everyone, to be using advertising, to be using commercials, to be using motion pictures, and every other kind, using social media to put this information out. I basically stopped listening to Pandora. I used to tolerate the commercials. I didn't want to pay them to stop sending commercials. So now they put the C-19 commercials on, why you got to wear this, why you must do this, or why you should. It's all about should. Why you should be doing this. And I was simply muting it for a while, and I decided, no, I'll just stop listening. You speak with your attention one way or another. I got a strike on Facebook because I put this kind of information out, and I've been putting even more and more out that are actually critical, putting more posts out, and I'll give Facebook credit. The activity and the connections I've made there trigger these thoughts, and I've been very prolific in responding. But what I am saying represents a truth that controverts the truths that they're putting out, because what they're putting out is not true. You know you got the truth when there's no other way of looking at an idea that actually not only makes the idea not smart anymore, that this other way is even better. There is something better to have as an option other than another, I'm going to say it, fucking vaccine. In fact, and that's what I've been putting out lately, the vaccines are a major part of our health problem, and it's not the only one. The way medicine is practiced today and has been practiced for the last few hundred years, at least 200 years and more, is a major part of our problem. And I'm talking about our health problem. It goes back before that, but a lot of it has been over the last 200 years when the medical profession began invading, forcing its way into and beyond and behind our first lines, our body's first line of protection, which is the skin itself. We have come to a point in our history, in our society, that these practices have been passed on generation to generation. We come out the womb with this practice and that practice, and the practices have continued to become more and more what? Normal, meaning more and more unnatural. Now it's C-sections. They want to just unzip the mother's stomach, open everything up, pull it out so they can get the baby out faster, get the body out faster, cut the umbilical cord. All of these steps are unnatural and cause a shock. That shock creates a trauma. That trauma affects the consciousness. It affects the constitution of the being. It adversely does so. Yeah, we get through it. That gives you an idea of how amazing we actually are. But the level of amazingness that we actually are is much higher than what we are actually experiencing here. And it's not going to change unless you decide to change it, unless I decide to change it. The people who are, first of all, thinking that they are not to be questioned, doing the best that can be conceived. Why? Because someone told them that, and they also said don't question them. They don't like being questioned. Certainly don't like being challenged. But they won't change this simply by continuing to figure out how to cooperate with them, especially when cooperation means taking their toxic, disruptive serums and solutions, which your body and your system, the intelligence that you are, actually has to then take energy, time, and resources to neutralize and mitigate in order to create and recreate naturalness. Normalcy is not naturalness. Health is natural. Disease today is normal. And disease thinking has become normal, except for those people who choose and who refuse to go there. You can't take that away from anyone. That is a choice that you either hold on to or you let go. But if you let go, you will still pay the price. See, that's the thing about it. If I let go of what I've learned, what I've come to know is true, I'll pay the price for my choice. Now, the instigator is going to pay their own level of, they don't get away. They may think they're above the law, but there are laws above the ones they are aware of that supersede the others. Sometimes you need to know those laws exist, decide to live within them and work within them, because there's a whole bunch of freedom within them, way beyond any that you can actually imagine. and yet you're in harmony with those laws. These folks that are pushing these agendas aren't aware of that. They literally think they are above experiencing the consequences of their actions. And what you sow, you will reap. And, someone can say, hey, maybe this is what humanity is reaping because it's sowing. I would say, no, not really. I say that humanity has allowed it, yes. Humanity hasn't questioned it, yes. Someone has been pushing these agendas, and these agendas have been getting progressively draconian, progressively unnatural, progressively perverted. I mean, what's all this thing about people not going to church? But folks can protest as long as they wear a mask and they're destructive. And the law is advised to, the law enforcers, the peacekeepers, so to speak, are advised to stand back and let them do it. Do you see a climate here? Do you see where the vendetta, the political vendetta, is, and they're vying for some ability to what? Control the world, control the masses. They want, I'm going to say it, they want Donald Trump out of the office so what? They can take over and now run this ship further into the ground? I am on a record of not having wanted either of the candidates 4 years ago. I probably said this before on some videos you may have seen or may not seen. But I breathed a great sigh of relief when Mr. Trump came out the winner. And the truth is, I don't like everything he's done. But he has done far more, especially given what his opponents today are proposing. They have nothing of value to offer other than get him out so that they can be in and apparently running the show and force everyone to show submissiveness, to obey because of the quote-unquote danger of a virus. We have an immune system that is so amazing it would blow your mind if you understood and knew it for what it is. It's time for you to know it. It's time for you to know the truth, especially if you don't like the way and the direction you see things going. Gosh, people in Australia, especially, in Eastern, and the beauty of the moment is that it's not everywhere at all places, but it's at enough places. In Australia, in Eastern Australia, this is happening, and I guess all over Australia. New Zealand, got a little dictator down there. All of these people thinking that the virus is so pernicious, and some, whether they're thinking it or not, they're being pushed in that way to act as though it is. We have some governors here in the U.S. doing the same thing. I'm in one state where this is happening on the West Coast, but they're on the West, they're on the East, they're in the middle. I just saw today where in Greece, someone is suggesting up to life imprisonment if you disobey a curfew. Excuse me? If you're believing that this virus is so deadly, in the absence of death associated with it, they're getting alarmed over cases because the deaths are not happening. The herd immunity that they say should happen, or will happen when the vaccine comes out has already showed up, because the vaccines don't do it anyway. Vaccines never have. When people got over these issues, it was because their immune systems actually overcame and restored naturalness. Health. Health is natural. What we have is normal, but it's not healthy. We have an opportunity to affirm health again. The only way we're going to do that, unless you can give me a better reason, a better approach, but the only way that I know to do that, based on what I've come to know and understand, is that you restore balance and you restore the natural order, or should I say you restore the order of nature. We stop putting the contaminants and irritants and disruptors in. And I'm not talking just vaccines. I'm talking toxic remedies, medicines, solutions that inhibit, block, obstruct. Please read The Hygienic System by Herbert M. Shelton. Dr. Herbert M. Shelton, published in 1939. I'm over halfway through it now. An amazing book, and the amazingness is that it is about your temple, how it works. It doesn't matter the color of the outside. They all work the same inside. The Constitution is the same. In other words, what's inside is what's important. We're sitting here allowing so much to happen based on what's outside, or what appears to be, and we're letting what is go down in flames. So at any rate, once to share those thoughts, I'm going to stop now. I'm going to go and look at this and edit it, and maybe I'll even post it so you can see it too. I do this to get it off my chest. I get it up there, hopefully to get into your mind, okay? You deserve an option, and the truth is you have them. You've always had options. You've needed some support, perhaps, in going outside the box that have been carefully and cleverly laid out for all of us to get into, and to close the door behind us while we go in, and then give them the key. Guess what? You are so powerful, you don't have to take the key back from them. You can do this, and you've got the key. It's yours again. And the cool thing about that, it's not theirs anymore. Theirs will disappear. You don't need their permission to do what you know is best. Seek to know. When you read The Hygienic System, you'll be guided to something else that supports it. You'll get a lot of references right in the book itself. There are many contemporary books as well, contemporary authors. Just start gifting yourself with knowledge, with understanding, with truth. When you got enough of it, you'll start making different choices, and you'll start feeling a lot better, because your fears will start to dissipate and disappear. Give it a shot. That's my thought for today. Thank you for watching. Tune in next time. I'm figuring this out. I may actually start doing this right at my office, so I can just turn on the camera and talk, and then gone back, but you know something, being outside, being in the sun, I may have to squint a little bit. I never have used sunglasses, and they actually block some spectra of light that we actually need. This is part of nourishment, which makes it such an abomination when these people are telling people to stay inside, be obsessive in trying to stay clean and cover your face. You don't know the power of a smile, even one that don't have teeth like this one, okay? These are part of your essence, and you don't want to cover that up in your children, because they will eventually have to go through the process of uncovering it. Why make them have to do that? Why send them to a school that makes them reinforce these idiosyncrasies, these idiocies, these neuroses? No. It's going to be okay. And as I said, I was going to leave, okay? I'm done. So thanks again. Be well. Be yourself, whatever that is. Be natural, which means be healthy or become healthy again. Till next time, peace. And I love you all.